I was born into the Illuminati. I was born into trafficking, deep level mind control, government-sponsored mind control. The Lord kind of put pieces together for me even before you would have like normal human memory. He showed me that I was really conceived in like a petri dish and then inserted into someone that actually carried me to full term, which I consider my mom. They actually did kill her when I was born. She was a breeder. Very much a victim. The Lord has really shown me, he through healing and things like that, he's really showed me that I'll get to see her one day. And there is a bond there, and it shows you how that spiritual bond is so much deeper than the physical bond that we have. But he really showed me I was put together in a petri dish, different bloodlines. So they called me the mixed breed. I didn't have one pure bloodline like they say that they want the world to have. They have put different bloodlines really as an experiment to really see what product they can make. What my different characteristics and different things would be after doing that. It was, as you can see, it was very, very controlled and manipulated. This was done in a hospital. They have hospitals really all around the world where they bring people in and do this, and then they spend the first 5 years of their life in that hospital being programmed for whatever specific job that they have determined ahead of time that you're supposed to do. So for me, it was Pink Princess, Kentucky Girl, like infiltrating churches, Christian conferences, things like that. They do a lot. For me, they would take me overseas and do a lot of deprivation, like in India and in Africa. And the program is different overseas, depending on where you're at. But like I said, I was really conceived in that petri dish, and they killed my mom at birth. Now, the lady that was the trafficker, my specific programmer, handler, she actually looked a lot like the lady. I'd say that there was some kind of familiar ties there. But she looked a lot like her. So for me, even...
So you're saying that there was the birth mother,
yes,
and then the programmer handler. That was the role playing mother.
Yes.
In your life.
Absolutely. So one lady's name was Regina, and one lady's name was Gina. So it was like there was two. So I would bond in trauma to the handler. Because they kind of looked alike, I would bond to her because I could actually feel the love of this victim that was actually the one that was birthing me. Wow. Like I felt that in the womb, the love that she had for me, which they knew, because the whole point of what they do is to try to torment God's children, and what better way to do that than to torment little kids. And so even in the womb, I was being like electrocuted. I was being like different things that they would speak over me, that I was evil, just rooted in there from the deepest level of conception on, to build that foundation. That the whole foundation for my programming was that I was evil, then I was a devil, and pretty much they would reinforce that over and over by they killed my mom, the one that had me. She wasn't blood related, but they killed her. They did a lot of rituals where they would actually put her dead body on top of me, and they do a lot of dissection, things like that. So it's really intense, extreme torture to cause my mind to split off and to end up bonding with this handler programmer instead of her, because they can sense when there's a bond, like there's a connection. So I learned from really in the womb that what they told me is I deserved pain, I deserved to be hurt, I was evil, so I needed them to control me. I needed them to hurt me. I needed them to torture me in order for me not to be evil. They said that I caused her to die. They didn't kill her. I caused her to die. They put me in like a body bag with her and, zipped that up, and then, was in there, and just a terror beyond what a human can stand. And as an infant, we know and we sense things. We might not have full knowledge of everything that's going on, but there's a lot that can be done all the way back to really conception. That's what they do.
Now, in the past, as we've talked through things, what I understood was you didn't really see the surface world until you were 5.
Right.
And they kept you in this hospital environment, which, where they were doing all of these things to you from birth to 5, this would not have been a public hospital like people think, Metro General or whatever. This is a secret location.
Some hospitals are infiltrated with Satanists and things like that. Of course, they do that a lot. But this is more specifically set apart for torturing and programming children 0 to 5. That was the whole point of it. And it was just nonstop, really, torture, teaching me when I could cry and when I couldn't cry, when I could move and when I couldn't move, if I could go to the bathroom or could, just really even the basic level things that we do as a human being, that I needed them to control that for me, that they had to have complete control over me, to depend on them for every single thing, or it was torture, or I would do something bad. It was just from the very root. That's what they were trying to program into me.
And then after the 5 years, the public life version begins.
Right. So at the 5 years, I want to say too.
Yes.
This is everywhere. You know this because you see people all the time and you work with them, you hear the stories, but it's everywhere. They strategically plant, MK Ultra in specific cities, towns, churches, government, every area. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but I'm saying it's strategically done, like points on a map. I saw when part of the governmental and the military programming, I would see maps of where they would have the different spots where different people were and what they were being programmed to do. So, I was kept in the
Can we just pause there?
Yeah, sure.
So I want to just branch into this a little bit to highlight what you just said. Okay, so you were programmed early. They shattered your mind. They put you under complete mind control. And then these programmers, handlers, went on to double as your surface parents.
Right.
That then, everyone thought if they saw you in the street, oh, that's her mom, that's her dad, this is a normal girl. But you were really part of a project the whole time that's connected to Illuminati. I mean,
absolutely. Top
to bottom. And those are the bloodlines they were putting in you in conception. And then part of the way that you were used was in military. They actually had a military side to your mission. And you were shown maps of the U.S. that revealed a grid, essentially.
Right.
And the grid was a people grid. It was a grid of people.
Exactly, a grid of where they were putting their soldiers. Really, is how I can say it. The soldiers that they were programming to do what they were designed to do. And
I think this is very, very important because, a lot of people, and I call it the Great Awakening, right? Because right now we have a false reality overlay that is being hectically challenged. Like, I don't think I've seen it challenged to this point, right? We're crossing into 2025, and now the track the world seems to be on. I see a lot more people opening up to this conversation than before. And one of the things I have been saying is going to precipitate a great awakening is the voice of the survivors.
Absolutely.
But our reality has been highly manipulated intentionally. And what you're saying is you saw the maps where the soldiers that were mind controlled were organized, like that they know who was programmed to do what and where they were stationed.
Absolutely. So my programming was in Kentucky, but they had lots of different soldiers that were programmed to be in those different places in Kentucky, and all over the U.S. It's really a strategic plan to take down this country from within. Kind of what Trump says, taking them down from within. I mean, that's what the whole plan was from the beginning. And it is amazing to me that we're starting to see people actually talking about that. Oh, wonder, they must have been planning this, for a really long time. But it is true. I mean, it's in every city, in every town. It's very strategically done, demonically done, grid lines to really bring portals in specific areas so that they can funnel in everything that they can to accomplish, their agenda, which is really to take over our country.
And what are, it is, from your perspective, what are some of the consequences of this grid that people may not expect?
I believe from all of what I heard and what I saw and what I was tortured around, that it affects everything. I mean, it affects the food. The whole food pyramid was a demonic ritual that they did to even invent that. And it's even coming out in the mainstream now that, hey, this was so that they can make money off of certain things. Like, it's coming out in the mainstream in different areas. Our food, where we live, like every detail of our life has been infiltrated. Our air, all of it, the weather, and it's kind of interesting now. A lot of what people said was conspiracy theory is like it's coming to pass, and it's like layer by layer, people are starting to see the truth of what's really going on, in our country.
Now, when you saw this grid within the military area that you were part